Okay, welcome everyone. This is the Edgewood Town Update of March 28th, 2022. I can't believe 3 months has gone by already.
Seems like a year to me.
We've done a lot.
It's been a lot of work. It's been really gratifying though to get a lot done. And one thing I've noticed is that the meetings have taken on a completely different tone. People are excited, things are happening. It's a pleasure to come to the meetings, honestly now.
We've had a lot of comments from constituents that have said, oh, you guys are doing great with the meetings, they're running along, you're getting so much done, much more than in the past, however many years, and that it's a pleasure to come to the commission meetings. So we want to welcome all of you to come to our commission meetings. They're here in Town Hall as well as online every first and third Tuesday of every month. And then mixed in there, of course, we've had a lot of special meetings and P&Z meetings as well. We also had a Cannabis Ordinance workshop, so you can find these on our website and advertised at the normal places, the electronic sign by Chili Hills, our website, and posted throughout the town as well.
So we want to give you an update about some of the exciting things that are going on in town, in the town. We've recently opened a transparency portal, which you kind of oversaw that and orchestrated that. It's rather than have to send an IPRA request or a request for records from the town, you can go on the website and there will be updated information posted on the transparency portal. There again, we want to keep raising the bar for openness and transparency and easy access for all the citizens to be able to find out information that they might want to know.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great. I'm really excited about this. For the past couple of years, the council provided budget for the financial system, Tyler Munis it's called, that's the general ledger accounting system, transparency portal, and actually that never got implemented, and so we are now working on that initiative as well. So there will be probably 3 transparency portals, we could call them, or pages. One for the GL and accounting package where people can look up any information that they would like. I think it'll reduce the number of IPRAs that we receive, although we're always happy and pleased to respond to IPRAs. I think it's the public's information, no problem with that at all. But secondly, we will have the website and the transparency pages there now, and a lot of useful information, as well as on another page on the website we have the minutes and packets. And then third, we will have most likely board docs or similar software that will be for running the meetings, and we'll have just a wealth of information there as well.
So one of my favorite guys, Thomas Jefferson, said that whenever the people are well informed, they can be trusted with their own government. And that's one of our goals, is to make this government a reflection of the will of the people. The only way the people can make informed decisions is to get the information. So we're really trying very hard to raise that bar that's of not just what's required minimally, but to keep you well informed so that you can have your own opinions with the right information.
And as my partner and I are auditing, we see different clients across the state that we can always tell the difference in them when their websites and their transparency pages have a lot of information. You can tell that they're just being open and honest and straightforward, even with their shortcomings. I mean, none of us are perfect, so I think that's the genuineness that the public is looking for.
I'm sure that none of us will get out of office without making a mistake somewhere. So.
Oh yeah.
So the other thing that's going on is we've been revamping some of our ordinances, and the reason behind that, for example, is the Procurement Ordinance, which regulates the process we have to go through to buy something with public money. So the public gets a fair shake and everybody knows there was a fair shake. We have to go out to bid, or we have to get 3 written quotes, or down at the lower levels it's a purchase order. But we're trying to revamp the ordinance because the last administration almost eliminated political accountability. It didn't have to go before the council and have a vote on large ticket items up to $60,000. So we're making that more accountable, more open to the public, and the board, the commission will now be responsible and have to vote on most items.
Yeah, I'm excited about that change too, with more accountability in the procurement. I think long ago, Edgewood did have a selection committee, right? Where
Right.
members of the public and members of the council and the administration would all kind of come together and take a look at bids. And that had a level of expertise and accountability for that committee. That was done away with, I think, in 2018, possibly even before that. And that's something that we would like to see brought back into the town's ordinance. And we'll still keep in there that the RFPs will come before the governing body before they're issued.
So that's a request for proposal has to come before the governing body, and that's aired out in a public meeting so everybody knows before the purchases are made, or before they're even solicited, what's going to be purchased.
Right, and then another thing we discussed at the public hearing was lowering the threshold to 20,000, right, to come before the body, so that there's just more transparency.
Yeah. So the other things that are going on is there were some problems from the, there have been a lot of problems that are carried over that we've been having to solve. But the main ones, or some big ones, is that Church Street, which was represented as being ready to pave, shovel ready.
Right.
Turns out that that's completely wrong. It was a train wreck of mismanagement on this project, in that they never considered or designed into the project the repairs or necessary drainage fixes. So there's a massive drainage problem across that. They never designed that in. They didn't include that into the money that was allocated for the project. So while we were told that there was enough money to pave it, it turns out that there's less than half of what's really going to be needed. The other thing that happened is, for some reason, when they realized they didn't have enough money to complete the project, they stopped paying their engineers. And that's a necessary component to finish the project. Plus, it's unethical to not pay for the services that are delivered to the town, so we're having to deal with that.
Yeah, I think it's really unfortunate because we've had several people from the public come up and say, this project was fully funded, this project was shovel ready, you guys just need to execute and go on. And as we're checking into things and having meetings, well, you all have had meetings with the engineers, you know, it's unfortunate, but it's not ready.
Right, it's not ready, and it's got a lot of problems, and I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. We're going to have to sort that out. So we're not going to just tell you about all the things we're accomplishing. We're going to tell you about the problems and the hiccups that are there. So people, because I know a lot of people have thought, like we did, we were told that it was ready to go.
Right, right, and it's really the drainage. It boils down to the drainage issues.
Which is huge. You can't build a road without addressing the drainage issues and fixing that. The other thing is Echo Ridge Park, which is one of our nice open space, section 34. The lease was let expire last year. They let it lapse. Thank God you got involved and got that lease extended again and renewed, because there's even an option that we get the property free once we make certain improvements, park benches, a parking area. So we're excited about that again, because we now have a valid lease thanks to you guys.
Sure, that's a great step forward. I think a remedy for something that went wrong in the past, and if it's not free, it'll at least at a minimum be a very low rate per acre. So
Right.
That's the federal government. BLM seems very willing to continue to work with us, which is great news for our open space for the town.
And again, we've got tremendous volunteerism going on. We filled up all of the appointments for the Parks and Rec Committee, the Animal Advisory Committee, the Library Committee got filled out again, Advisory Committee. And all of these people on it are just excited. They're working ahead for the good of the people. So it's really great to see that.
Yes, I think it's been fantastic here, actually. As I mentioned, I think last time, that it was like a graveyard here in Town Hall in November, December. It just a very few people here. And now, if you come by Town Hall, it's alive and well. There are many cars, front and back, parking lots. There's hustle and bustle and people walking around and getting things done. And it's so refreshing and just really exciting. The volunteers and all of the boards are very busy. I think the Animal Welfare, Animal Control Advisory Board, they have taken a look at the ordinance, Parks and Rec as well. We had a hearing on that ordinance and it's pretty much ready to go. So if anyone has feedback on those, and then the Economic Development Ordinance did pass as well, so we'll be filling those seats. And I think I may do an interview with Commissioner Sterling Donner for that, just so he can let the public know about that board and the intent and see if anyone's interested in applying.
And we're really cultivating a culture change in the government here to not just openness and transparency, but customer service. This really is the government of the people. When you have anything that you want done through the town, whether it's a zoning application or a building permit or anything, please feel free to come by. The town hall is open. It's open to the public. This is the people's building and their government. So please feel free to come by and introduce yourself. If you have a problem, come by and see us. We'll do our best.
Some of the other things happening are applications for grants and funding. And so we did submit one grant for emergency operations, for any emergencies that might arise in the town. So we'll see in early April if we receive that funding or not. I think it's just under $100,000. And we did receive quite a bit of money from the legislature. One for a water treatment plant, which I'm super excited about for the town to be able to treat the water, which will help the sewer plant too, those operations. And then funding for trails.
Yeah, that was one of the big three is water quality, right? Roads, trails, water quality. For the first time in Edgewood's history, we've actually been able to secure money to design, to do a feasibility study for the plant, maybe even build it. So it's certainly a great step forward for Edgewood solving a problem.
We've had some legal wins.
Yeah, we have. Actually, the town won the right the other day in a hearing to take over the case against John Bassett for recovering the money that was misused for personal use on the sewer line to his property. So the town has the responsibility and really should be able to pick that up and take it over, and the judge allowed that to happen. It's provided for in the statute, but it is somewhat at the judge's discretion, and she allowed that. So the town will now be taking over that case.
Another thing that comes to mind here is progress forward for animal control building and the cattery, the cages that some of you remember being talked about at budget time, almost a year ago now. We did fund for these cages because the others were made of particle board and just really awful. And those were just never ordered. So we went through quite a long process of getting bids and getting the vendor to agree to start the order without a deposit, which is not allowed by procurement here in New Mexico. So we agreed to that, and we have them ordered, researched shipping options, and I'm just really excited. I think it should be approximately 10 weeks from now, but we'll probably miss all of the spring litters, unfortunately, but at least it's ordered and in process. So let's talk about the YES program.
So that's youth events for summer, right, for kids?
That's right. That's
okay.
Right. So Parks and Rec Board and administration have been working very hard on kind of resurrecting this program. Actually, Linda Burke used to run it years ago, and then of course there's been a significant hiatus on the program. But as we all know, high priority for the community members is things for kids to do and things, activities for youth in the summer. And so I'm really excited about this. For the past, since I've been a counselor, I always fought to get money allocated for the kids for a summer program, and now finally we're going to be able to do something. So hopefully, in collaboration with the county, we will have an 8-week program, all day for the kids, and parents can sign them up. And this is for June and July, of course, and for all of the weeks or some of the weeks, and flexible with the time. And right now, we're just searching for the proper venue, hoping, of course, that the school district will allow the YES program to operate from the south building here on campus.
Yeah, that's something else we ought to mention that's not as quite a happy note, but this Edgewood, or the Moriarty Edgewood School District is trying to tear down the south part of this entire complex, which is something like 53,000 square feet of building. It's a puzzle to us why they would want to tear down a perfectly good building, and it's a problem for Edgewood because we use those buildings for community events like the YES program. So we've been talking with them about it at this point without much success in terms of getting them to understand how important that is to Edgewood, that we would like them to keep that building intact, especially if they haven't built another one or don't even have one in the planning stages to take its place. So there'll be more information coming out soon on that. It's something that I think all the citizens of Edgewood are going to want to know about and really should be concerned about. We're going to try to keep that from happening, but we need to, with the cooperation of the Moriarty Edgewood School Board, which to this point we haven't had.
Yeah, I still have hope that we will be able to use it. In their master plan, it does show that the building would be turned into a community center, and so the gym over there, the cafeteria, the lobby area, the office, that whole part is to be turned into a community center. So I'm hoping that they'll honor that. That's on their master plan. And even if they don't want to save the classrooms to the south, which would really be unfortunate because it's space that can't easily be, rebuilt. I mean, it needs some maintenance. But so my preference is really that the entire building remain and be used by the community as it is now. We have the preschool there and the Arts Alliance and the chamber and other activities. We had our commissioners forum there in the gym at Edgewood Elementary. So I'm just really hoping that it continues to be used by the community until such time that they have a solid plan to rebuild something there and funding to rebuild something there, because at this point they don't.
And it's concerning to me that they had it master planned to turn it into a community facility. That's what everybody has relied on, believed in. And now suddenly, without soliciting public input from Edgewood, they're planning now to completely go against that plan that was advertised and adopted and tear down this building. So it's going to be a big issue for us upcoming. I want to make sure that Edgewood gets its fair shake.
Sure, and I think that it's something with intergovernmental cooperation can happen. Just like as we are leasing the building here to the north of Edgewood Elementary and helping with the repairs and maintenance, and which, by the way, there's been a lot happening. Yeah. We've had a lot of new hires, and one that comes to mind is our maintenance the crew that's been assisting us so much here in this building for things that were just deferred and put off. And so by occupying the buildings and maintaining them and upkeeping them, it just takes some intergovernmental relations and being able to use the taxpayer buildings that are here until such time that, something else is needed to be done and there's funding for it, right? And I do know the concern is about tearing it down. But I also know that when a building is to be put into place, you can also bond for the money to remove the old building to replace it. So that could be down the line, whether it's, after this board and superintendent are long gone, or whether it's sooner, depending on the population. We don't know. But in the meantime, it would be great to be able to continue to use the buildings. Edgewood doesn't have its own large community center like this with a gym, and so it's, I think, important to really listen to the people and listen to what they want, listen to what they've paid for.
We pay about half of our property tax goes to this school district, and we paid for those buildings. As a contractor, my rough estimate is that building's worth about $7 million. It's really kind of atrocious to think of the waste of taxpayer money to knock something down that just needs some minor maintenance and repairs. Mm-hmm. And it would be a tremendous value to the community as a community center.
Right. And with capital outlay, what everyone needs to keep in mind is that the school district does receive funds for repairs and maintenance through our property taxes, through mill levies. And it's a different bucket of money than operational. And so this isn't, maintaining and upkeeping the building there would not impact operations, as far as teacher salaries or anything like that, because capital money and repairs and maintenance is a totally different bucket than operational. In fact, leasing out the building, if they were to do that, agree to do that to Parks and Rec, to the town possibly, that would help their operational funds.
So stay tuned. We're going to be putting out more information about this. It's a big issue for Edgewood. Everyone should be concerned about it, and we're going to try to get an amicable resolution with the school board about this. So we appreciate you tuning in today. We've tried to give you as much information as we can about what's going on in the town. It's your government, it's your town. We appreciate all of the input and support that we've received. We will be doing this on a regular basis to update you on the current events in the town of Edgewood. So thanks again for tuning in.
Thank you.